Hey guys, welcome back to another video on the Inside Spurs channel. Hope you're enjoying your Tuesday still, whatever it is you're doing. I hope you're enjoying it. Obviously got European football on tonight. There's some Champions League. I think Napoli, Real Madrid would probably be the pick of the games this week. Tonight. Sorry, I'm looking forward to it. I hope you are as well. But we're talking some good, some bad. Okay, so I'm going to start. You know, it normally says. Someone says, I've got some good news, I've got some bad news, you normally start with the bad news because the good news should hopefully pick you up, right? So let's start with the bad news. It came from Fabrizio Romano and he was talking around Tottenham's search for a striker. And he said that Tottenham are still not desperate to find a new number 9 on the market. They'll wait to understand the situation on the market closer to next summer, around March, April, May. But for the moment, it is completely quiet. So, you know, with me, I always try and find you different avenues to think about this, okay? Because I think a lot of times you'll read something and automatically go, I hate this, I love this, whatever it is, and you come up with that one opinion and you stick to that one opinion. But it's always important to try and think of the bigger picture, okay? Now, January is notoriously a very difficult time to get players in. Last January wasn't, and that was purely... the January post-World Cup wasn't too difficult to get in purely because the World Cup had finished. Players were no longer thinking of the summer tournament. But obviously we've got a summer tournament coming up next summer. So when you talk about a January move, if it doesn't go right, you might not get your place in your international squad, whatever squad it is. Now in the summer, different ballgame. Because you can then go, right, I've got a summer pre-season to get myself up and running at my new club. I don't have to worry about international football, like a proper international football squad for a little while now. I can really get going with my new team. So there's that part to it. Second part to it is normally January prices are inflated because clubs would rather not sell the player because that means they have to go and replace them. Whereas in January, they're in the middle of their season, they don't want disruption, they don't want to have to gel new players in as much. They don't mind adding one or two here and there, but to lose a key player to then replace them, it could be the difference between relegation or not, or top 4 or not, or finishing in the top half of the table, or doing well in Europe, whatever it is, right? The other avenue you can think about is come summer, you'll probably find there's a little bit more depth to the market, there's knowledge of the market. I think you'll probably find people like Victor Osimhen will probably nuke the striker market. I can't see him moving in January. I know Napoli have had this weird thing with him going on. I know they released a stupid TikTok of him. He's had a bit of an outburst, bit here and there. I can't see him moving because he's going to cost 150 million and who's really going to spend that in January? Now, Chelsea might, but Chelsea have got FFP to be dealing with. So there's that issue. So I think when you come next summer, you've got an extra 6 months compared to January knowledge of your transfer targets and you have more an understanding of your transfer markets, then I think that's a really key point to it. And plus, the World Cup will always, or the Euros, or African Cup of Nations, or whatever tournament it is, the Copa America, it always will throw up little gems, little players that you don't think about. I mean, for example, Arsenal signed Andre Arshavin. You remember him? He scored 4 goals away to Liverpool. That was probably his most memorable game that he played for Arsenal. He tore it up for Russia. We found Pavlyuchenko from Russia. That's just 2 to name you. There's always been loads. I think Jeremy Doku is probably the most recent one. And in fact, he's now at Man City and he looks like a great player. So there's that. And then my last point is maybe after watching the sort of first couple of months of the season, Ange's gone, actually, I tell you that Donnelly's doing well in the youth setup. We've got Feliz coming in. He looks like he's going to be a decent player. I mean, he's already been fast-tracked into the squad, and we thought he was going to be into November we might see him, but we've already seen him in September. You also have this thing with, Son. Son scored 6 and 4, in the month of September. Richarlison's still there. You spent a lot of money on Richarlison, and you watch it as Liverpool. He does get in some good positions. So I think Ange might go, I think I've got enough in the striker position till next summer where I feel like I might need to then get someone. You never know. Donnelly might come through or Valise might come through and we might go, hang on a second. I don't think we need anyone in January because I think he might be a guy here that we can get a lot of production out of. We don't know what we got in those two when it comes to that attacking area. And Valise looks like an absolute broad specimen. If you've seen him, he's an absolute giant. He looks like he dwarfs centre-halves at times. So I think that could be something that can play into this. So definitely something to keep an eye on. But anyway, let me pick you up some good news. And I talked about it a little while ago, about Al Ittihad's Jota. So Graham Bailey came out with this a few hours ago, saying that Tottenham are continuing to monitor Jota's situation ahead of a likely Al Ittihad exit. Ange Postecoglou loved working with the Portuguese forward at Celtic. Spurs are not only the only club keeping tabs on the situation. Again, let me think of some avenues. It doesn't shock me there's other clubs that want him. I mean, if you're getting a player who's on a free who is 24 years old, who's going to have a real ambition to kind of hit the ground running at a new club because it didn't work going into a Saudi Arabian club, that could be a low risk, high reward. The other thing, the fact that for Spurs, he's had that previous relationship with the current coach. He might be looking at the attacking areas going, look, I've got some good players there, but if I can slot Jota in there, then I've got a wealth of attacking options leading into January, leading into the summer, where I might be moving on from a few, e.g. a Perisic. Maybe we don't know what happens with Brian Hill. Does Richarlison continue there? That kind of situation. And I think potentially that's another thing to take in there. I think Jota is a slightly different player to what we have as well. Again, something else to take into account. So I think when you look at it, I look at Jota as a low risk, high reward. If it doesn't work out, someone else will take him. For sure, someone else will take him. A top six club moving on a player who isn't a huge name, huge ego, you'll find someone in lower in the league or in a different top five league that will take him. The interesting thing I want to think about is his wages. Being in Saudi Arabia, he's obviously on a lot of money per week. He'll obviously have his contract terminated. He'll probably get a bit of a payoff with that. Yes, he may not want as much money in terms of when he signs for another club. But what does that figure look like? Because obviously his wage at Celtic compared to his wage at Saudi Arabia is night and day. And I'd rather be, closer to the night where he was getting paid at Celtic than it would be in the day in Saudi Arabia. I think we all would agree on that. Doesn't matter who you are. I think you would all agree on that. But yeah, definitely something to keep an eye out on with the attacking situation. I think we're going to have some updates maybe towards January time, because you never know. You just never know in football. Someone might get a couple of injuries, a couple of suspensions, things like that. And Ange might go, actually, I could do with another attacking option. Or does he look at Jota and go, actually, that might be enough? Because he might look at Brennan Johnson and go, Brennan could play striker if we really were desperate as well. Interesting thoughts, I know. Anyway, guys, that's the end of the video. I hope you did enjoy it. Drop a like on the video if you did. Hit me in the comments section around the strike option. Are you happy that we're not going to be looking at someone in January? Do you think we've got enough to not have to look in January? And if we are looking in summer, who would you want? But be realistic. If you start saying Victor Osimhen, I might go, oof, don't think that's going to happen. But yeah, let me know on that. And also let me know on the Jota situation. Would you be happy for us to be looking at him within the season, into January, or even next summer? And depends on the cost. You let me know. I'm interested to see what you guys think. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. Had a few more this morning, so road to 1400, creeping ever so closer. And hit the bell notification for more. But guys, that's the end of the video. And I'll see you all very, very soon. Take care, guys.